Good morning. Good morning, students. Good morning, grade 7/2.
Good morning, teacher.
Good morning, teacher.
All right.
Good
So,
morning, teacher Raul.
yes, good morning, Pam, and everyone. Good morning. Now, for today, we will continue all about linear equations, two variables. Okay. As I have said, this may be quite difficult, but we need to focus so that we can follow. As long as you understand the basic of it, then it will not be hard for you to understand more on the next succeeding topics. All right, so that is why last meeting we had started on it and we identified linear equations. Okay, so we identified what are linear equations in two variables. All right, composed of two variables only, and the highest power or exponent should be 1. Okay, so that is why it is called linear equation, because the exponent of the variable is only 1. Okay, because when it will be with the exponent of 2, that will not be. Okay, so, and we identify also that it is made up of variables. Okay, when we are going to solve variables on the left hand side of the equation and numerals or the whole numbers on the right hand side of the equation. That will be your guide so that when we solve, it will be easier for us to identify variables and the value of the numerals on the right hand side. Okay, so that is very important, and please take note of that one. Okay, now let us now go to the next topic for today. Okay, today that is chapter 8 in your book and workbook. All right, so for today we will now focus on graph. Okay, graph of linear equations. We know that in linear equations, we get the value of two variables, x and y. Okay, so that when we have the value of x, there is that pair, okay, ordered pair to the value of y. So meaning, if for example, if your x is 0 and then your y is 3, therefore that is the ordered pair. 0 for x, 3 for y. So that we can put that one in a graph. All right. And we know that a graph is made up of the quadrant, the x and the y axes and the values of the quadrant. All right. So let me share to you our discussion for today. And please focus, all right? Please focus because this might be quite difficult. So that is why I need you to focus on our discussion. Okay. So again, we are now on graphs of linear equation in two variables. So we will take note that the two values can be put in a graph. All right. Okay, so we are now 11 and all right, here. Now we know that in a graph, we have the values of our x and y, the ordered pair, okay? And we know, and just remember, okay, this will be a follow-up. Just remember that in this quadrant here, all right, your x and y is all positive, all right? So positive for x, positive for y, okay? In that quadrant. In here, your x is negative in this quadrant and your y is positive, all right? So remember that one. In here, all the values of x and y are negative. Okay. So this is just to refresh your memory and your learning before. Okay. And in here, the value of your x is positive and your y is negative in this quadrant. All right. So when we are now to graph our ordered pair, take note of that one. Okay. First quadrant is all positive. Second quadrant, we have there x is negative, y is positive. Third quadrant, all are negative. And the fourth quadrant, we have positive and negative values. Okay. So im is present. All right. Okay, again, remember the values of our quadrant here. Okay, this will guide us to graph our ordered pair of the equations, x and the y variables. Okay, two variables, x and y. Okay, so we will now go to some examples. Here, if we are to graph, okay, we need to construct table of values. So what is table of values? These are the values of our x with the pair y. X with the pair y. Value of x with the corresponding value of y. So that is what we call as table of values. Okay? Again, these are also what we call as the ordered pairs. Given the value of x, what is the value of y? Given the value of x, what is the value of y? So that it is called ordered pair, and we put it in a table so that will help us to graph. Okay, that will help us to graph the corresponding values of the equation. All right. Okay. Now, what are ordered pairs? Now, take note. In that example, y equals x plus 2. Okay. I need everyone to please focus so that you will understand. Again, please focus because this might be quite difficult. All right. Now, how to construct the value of our x and the y? Now, given that the equation is y equals x plus 2. All right. But you are given there the value of x, where x is negative 2. Okay, when x is negative 2, what is y? When x is negative 1, what is then the value of y? When x is 0, what is the value of y? And so on. When x is 1, what is y? And when x is 2, what is the value of y? So meaning you are given here the value of your x. Okay? So you are given the value of x. So therefore, all we do is to find the value of y. All right? Again, you are given the value of x. And what we will do now is to find the value of y. When x is negative 2, when x is negative 1, 0, 1, 2, we will find the value of y. Okay? All right. Now, how? We replace. We said that y equals x plus 2. Okay? Y equals x plus 2. So what do? We replace the value of x. So that when you replace Take note, x is -2. So what is y? When x is -1, what is y? When x is 0, all right, what is y? When x is -1, what is y? And when x is 2, all right, what is y? So meaning we will replace the value of x to the equation to get the value of y. Okay? Did you get what I mean? Guys, did you get? Muta Tanya? Yes, okay. So we will now put our x into the equation so that we can get the value of y. All right? So that will be our second step so that we can create the values. Okay, now when x is -2, y equals, take note, we replace -2 to x. So therefore, y equals -2 plus 2 equals 0. So therefore, y equals 0. Okay? So meaning when x is -2, then the pair y is 0. And when x is -1, so we replace x equals -1. So the equation x plus 2. So -1 plus 2 equals 1. So therefore, when x is -1, y equals 1. When x is 0, so replace x plus 2. 0 plus 2 equals 2. So therefore, when x is 0, y equals 2. All right? Now, when your x is 1, all right, when your x is 1, so replace the value of x plus 2. So that means y plus 2. Then the value of y is 3. When x is 2, x plus 2, 2 plus 2 equals 4. Now, these are now our values of y, given the values of x on the other side. Okay? All right. Remember, these numbers here are the value of x in the equation x plus 2. So when x is -2 here. So all of these, all right, all of these are the value of x, so that we replace it in the equation. Okay? So when x is -2 plus 2, all right, so that is x plus 2. All right, so did you understand? Did you get? All right. And this will now be our ordered pair. All right. So this one here, guys, is what we call as the table of values. All right. These are here. So when we solve the value of x and y, we know already what is y. 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4 is y. So we can put that one into our table of values. And then we are now ready to make a graph. All right. So from the equation that we said, when x is -2, y is 0. All right. When x is -1, y is 1. All right. So this is what we call as the ordered pair. Okay. When x is equals to 0, y equals to 2. So x0, y2. And when x equals 1, y is 3. Okay. X is 1, y is 3. And when x is 2, y is 4. All right. So we are now ready to make, all right, and plot it in the graph. All right. Okay, so let us take some example in advance so that we will know how to plot that one in a graph. So we can put that one in here. Okay, in a graph. So this is just a plain example. Okay, so we can graph that one here. All right, so when x is, all right, so for example, this is your values here. All right, and then we put that one into our graph. Okay, so how? For example, your x is -2, so 1, 2, y is 0, so you can plot it in here. When x is -1, y is 1, so y is 1 here. When x is 0, y is 2, 1, 2, so y is 2. All right. When x is 1, y is 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3. So it will be like here. Okay, and so on. When x is 2, y equals to 4. All right, so we can graph it that way. So that will be, okay, that is the picture of what our graph is all about. Okay, again, these are what we call as our table of values, so that we are now ready to make a graph out of it. Okay. All right, second example. Create table of values. The equation is 8 equals 3x minus y. So this is the equation. 8 equals 3x minus y. 4, so these are now the value of x. -2 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 2. So what is the meaning of this? All right, what is the meaning of this one? Okay, the value of our x. So the value of x would mean the smallest is -2. And then we can have -1. We can have 0 because our value here is x less than or equal to -2, -1, 0, then 1 and 2. Okay, so the lowest is -2, the highest is +2 in this equation. So that means the value of x here is -2, so this is now your x. X equals -2, -1, 0, 1, and okay, 2. So this is -2, the smallest, and the highest is +2. So -2, 1, 0, 1, and 2. So that is the meaning of this equation. Okay. Okay, so take note, x is. Now, how to create table of values out of that one? All right, guys, please listen so that you will understand. Okay, are you following there? Everyone? All right, so Cao Kong is here. Who else? Bill, all right, see, come in. Okay, so let us continue, all right? How to construct table of values of the equation. We have there 8 equals 3x minus y, and the value of x is -2 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 2. Now, how to make? We simplify first our equation. Okay, we simplify first our equation. Here, take note, we put y as our equation. But here, we need to simplify first before we can do. Okay? So, we said that variables to the left and constant to the right. So, when we transpose negative y to the left, all right, when we transpose negative y to the left, then it will become positive. And when we transpose 8 to the right, positive 8 becomes negative 8. All right, take note, whatever you transpose, the sign will be changed. If that is positive or negative, it will change. So in this case, we have here, okay, so we have here negative y. So when we transpose that one to the left becomes positive, and positive 8 transposed to the right becomes negative 8. All right, so take note of that one, so that y equals 3x minus 8. Okay, y equals 3x minus 8. Again, why is it 3x minus 8? Y transpose becomes positive. 8 transpose becomes negative. So therefore, y equals 3x minus 8 because we put y as the subject here. Okay, so we have now y equals 3x minus 8. So we can now get the value of y. Okay, so when x is negative 2, take note we start here with negative 2, this one, and we end with positive 2. All right, so when x is negative 2, so take note we have here the equation y equals 3x minus 8. Okay, so we replace x with the value of here. So given that is if x equals negative 2, so therefore, all right, therefore 3x or 3 times negative 2 equals negative 6 minus 8, negative 6, and negative 8 equals negative 14. So we have now y, take note this is our y. All right, so y is negative 14. Now 3x, if x is negative 1, so 3 times negative 1 is negative 3. Negative 3 minus 8 is negative 11. Okay, so when x is negative 1, y equals negative 11. Now when x is 0, so 3x, so 3 times 0 equals 0. So 0 minus 8 is minus 8, so negative 8. All right, so if x is 0, y is negative 8. X is 1, so 3x, 3 times 1 equals positive 3. Positive 3 combined with negative 8, we get negative 5. Okay, 3x, so if x is 2, 3 times 2 is 6. Positive 6 minus 8 is negative 2. Positive 6, negative 8, answer is negative 2. So we have now the values of our y. So if x is negative 2, y is negative 14. When x is negative 1, y is negative 11. When x is 0, y is negative 8. When x is 1, y equals negative 5. When x is 2, y equals negative 2. So we have now our ordered pair. So we can put that one in the table of values. Okay? So x is -2, y -14. X -1, y -11. If x is 0, y is -8. When x is 1, y is -5. And when x is 2, y is -2. So that we are now ready to graph it in the Cartesian plane or in the quadrant, in the x and the y axis. Okay? Guys, did you get that one? Muta, are you confused or do you understand? Si, Kawum, Ja? All right, Tanya, did you get? Okay, what about the others? Kaukong, Te? All right. Okay, so to create the table of values again, we just replace the value of x so that we can get the value of y. Take note, the value of x is given. Okay, so these are the value of x that are given. So that we replace this one into the equation and then we get the value of y. Okay, so that is what we call as table of values. All right, so drawing the graph. Okay, so we know already how to graph that one. Okay, now for example, using 1 cm to represent 1 unit on the x-axis and 1 cm to represent 2 units on the y-axis. Draw the graph of the equation y equals 2x minus 3 for x equals 1. Okay, x equals 1 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 4. So that means the lowest is, okay, we have here 1 and the highest is 4. And this is the value of x. Okay, so we now get the table of values out of that one. So how again, how to get? We, all right, replace the value of x into the equation to get the value of y. Okay, for example here, 2x. So 2 times x -1 is -2. Minus 3, we get -5. When your x is 0, 2 times 0 is 0 minus 3. So y is -3. Okay. When your x is 1, 2 times 1 is 2 minus 3, we get -1. And then when your x is 2, so 2 times 2 is 4 minus 3 is 1. Okay, so when your x is 2, y is 1. And when your x is 3, so 3, okay, 2 times 3 is 6 minus 3 is 3. All right. When your x is 4, so 2 times x, which is 4, 2 times 4 is 8, minus 3 is 5. So this is now your ordered pair, and this is what you need to plot in the graph. All right. Okay. So again, we are now given the value of x. All we do is to replace the value of x into the equation y equals 2x minus 3, and then we get the value of y. So these are now the value of y. Okay. So we are now ready to plot it in the graph. All right. Okay. So look at the table. All right. So we are now ready to plot the graph. If x is -1, all right. So If that is our x and the y axis. All right, we will plot. If x is -1, y is -5. All right, so if x is -1, y, so somewhere here. All right, I got short with the line. We start with -2. Okay, when your x is 0, so x is 0, y is -3. So 1, 2, 3. So therefore, you have it in here. -3. 1, 2, 3. So this one. All right. And when your x is 1, y is -1. So x is 1, y is -1 here. All right. When your x is 2, y is +1. So x is 2, y, okay, 1, 2, y is +1 here. All right. And when your x is 3, y is 3. So 1, 2, this is x is 3, 1, 2, 3. So y is 3. And when your x is 4, y is 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is your x4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So your y is 5. All right. So this is now the figure of our graph. This is our graph look like. Okay. So 0, -3. So this is 0 and -3. All right. And the next, we have 1 and -1. So this is 1 and -1. All right. And we have also x is 2, y is 1. So this is 2 and 1. All right. And then we have 3, x is 3. So this is 3, x is 3, y is 3. And the last, when x is 4, y is 5. So x is 4, y is 5. All right. So this will now be our graph look like. And then we can now connect the dots, -5 below. Okay, so we can. All right, so we can have it like this one. Okay, so that will be our graph look like. All right. So far, did you understand how to graph linear equations in 2 variables? Okay, guys.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So I'm exhausted explaining that one. It's very difficult to explain it online, but I'm trying my best, and I know most of you understood our discussion. Okay. So that is
You're doing good, teacher.
okay. So that is how to graph linear equations in 2 variables. Okay, so please try to understand that one. And then we don't have much time. Okay, so we really need to answer the workbook. All right. So the workbook will be on that page 100 and 101. Okay. So we don't have much time. So please, that will be your task. Answer exercise 8.2, page 101 and 102. All right. So thank you so much, everyone, and see you on the next. We don't have much time, sorry. So we have not started our task. So that will be your task to do. Okay.